So in the previous tutorials, we have added these visualizations for our pickup items, and I can pick this item from ground, and this will be appeared on the inventory plus our weapon system. Right. Now let's see how we can drop this weapon to the ground. Right. Or it can be a weapon, or it can be either any sort of inventory item that we have been picked. Right. So currently we have this actor component for our inventory system. So within this inventory system, this is the array that we hold whatever the actors that we have been currently picked. Right. So I think by iterating through this array, we can drop the weapons to the ground. Right. So in order to do that, first let's go to player instance, and there just for debugging purposes, let's add a input event just to notify that you are dropping the equipped weapons or equipped inventory items, right? So for now, actually this will be a forced dropping the picked items, but later on actually we can implement the feature to drop items when the character has been killed or something like that. Okay. So let's say when I click F, I should be able to drop whatever the items that have been picked, right? So in order to drop those items from the inventory system, we need to implement a function or a custom event called drop inventory items. And what this basically does is it will go through this array and drop each and every individual items within this array. Right? So first what we can do is we can actually check whether this array is empty or not. I can do like that, something like that. If it is empty, then there is nothing to be dropped. So just for testing purposes, I will add a print statement called inventory is empty. So if it is empty, there is nothing to be dropped. But if it is not empty, which means we have valid items to be dropped, so what we can do is I will simply print their display names just for the testings. Right. And now I can call this event inside here. So I can get the inventory system and check whether we have valid reference or not. So if we have valid reference, then I can simply call this drop inventory items function event actually. So let's play test it again, and if I press F, it's not been called. Let's just check whether I have a valid reference here or not. Yeah, we have valid reference, and it goes to here. Sorry, the logic is actually wrong. If it is not empty, we have to drop the weapons. Right. Now let's try. Yeah, so now you can see it's actually printing the inventory is empty because currently we haven't equipped any sort of pickup items from the ground, right? But if I picked one of the items, and if I press F again, now you can see actually it's printing sword instance as a a valid item to be dropped, right? And if I pressed rifle as well, now you can actually see 2 items. If I equip pistol, now you can see all of those 3 items are in the droppable inventory items array. Right, now what we can do is, actually logic is almost there. Now what we can do is we can spawn elements from this array, right? But the issue is actually these items are not inventory items by default, right? So here you can see like these items are actually instances that we have been already picked. Those are not the instances of pickup item class itself, right? Which means like in inventory we have this base class for the pickable items, and this is the item that should be spawned on the ground if we need to visualize that we have been dropped a valid item that need to be picked later on, right? So in this pickable item base class we have a reference for the inventory items. So whenever the character overlap with this actor instance, ultimately this inventory item will be added to the inventory. And likewise, in the similar fashion, now what we have to do is within the inventory item we have to make a reference to this specific pickable item base or pickable item instance, so that when we are iterating through this array we can refer that and spawn that element, right? So it is sort of a bidirectional referencing that we create to spawn 2 different ways of instances, right? Okay, so now to do that, actually there are multiple different ways. So the easiest way is actually, since currently we are equipping only these weapon items, what we can do is we can go to this weapon base class and create a new variable for pickable item reference or whatever the thing. Then we can refer that variable and spawn it. So it would be fine. But later on, actually, I'm going to implement multiple different inventory items that can be picked, such as like money or like some collectibles, things like that. So if we do hard-coded variable here like that, then what we have to do is we have to do the same thing for each and every individual inventory items that we are going to drop later on. So this could be sort of a code duplication. Therefore, in order to avoid that, I think it's better to create sort of a help function or helper actor component that can be easily pluggable for these sort of actor classes. So I'll go to components and helpers, and I'll create a new blueprint actor component called BPC inventory item help. Right. So in this inventory item helper, now I can create a variable called actually I can call it as pickable item, and this should be a class of actor reference, right? Okay, I can make it public and I'll assign it to a category called setup. And now what I can do is I can go to this weapon base, and inside there let's plug this inventory help, inventory item help, right? So if you click on that inventory item help actor component, now you can see there is a instanceable variable for any pickable item, right? So this is what we need to be done. And then for now, just for testing, I can maybe give it a pickable item base for this weapon base, and we can see how it works, right? So we have that reference inside our inventory item help. Now again, let's go back to the inventory system, and here now we have to check in our referenced array element, is it has a component called inventory help. If it is has inventory helper, that means it is already marked as an item that can be dropped. So what I can do is I can get the pickable item class reference, and I can get rid of this print statement, and let's spawn actor from class with this class. And for now I will just spawn it at the origin point just for testing purposes, and I'll always spawn and ignore collision, and there is no owner and there is no instigator, right? So let's equip this item, and if I press F now, you can see actually the picked item base has been appeared on the origin point, right? And if I press F again that item has been appeared, but you can see actually everything is overlapping with each other because everything is actually spawning from the origin point, right? Plus actually we can keep drop the same item again and again because it is not being removed from the inventory item list, right? So to get rid of that issue, what we can do is soon after we spawn an actor from this or drop an item from this list, what we can do is we can remove that item from here, or the best approach would be to actually destroy this element, because we are not going to use the instance of this reference again. Plus since these inventory items are passed to weapon system as well, I think destroying this element would be nice. Otherwise the reference at the weapon system for the weapon slots may be some unused reference or dead reference. Yeah, so that is not ideally what we need to do. Therefore let's destroy the element from inventory system. Destroy act. And just for safe side, actually we can remove it as well, but I think ideally by destroying would be enough, but just for safe side, let's remove it as well. Right. Now you can see if I equip the sword and if I press F, it will be appeared on the weapon origin point. Plus the weapon has been destroyed, but still the actor is remaining at the sword instance level, because the reference has been deleted at the inventory system, but it is not been deleted at the weapon system, right? So we have to delete the reference from there as well. Plus if I press F again, now you can see it can't drop again, and it simply says inventory is empty, which is ideally what we want. Okay, now let's go to the weapon system itself, and what we can do is so whenever the new item is added to this inventory, we can actually bind a event dispatch or event listener for its destruction. So let's get this weapon and search for bind event on destroy. This is the event that we need, and let's create an event, and let's create a matching function as well, and I'll call it as on weapon destroyed. Okay? And I'll just print the string for now called destroyed. I just need to see actually this binding works properly or not. Right? If I play test now and equip this item and drop it again, now you can see actually it is being printed called destroyed. But now we have another issue. Okay, it is been appeared. Okay, which means actually this event dispatched event is being called because at the inventory system, soon after we drop the item from the array, we spawn this element and destroy the all reference of the inventory item. So this event will be triggered and it will be dispatched a call to this event listener that we have been implemented here. So it will listen for any destructions or destruction events, and once it destroyed that event has been called, it will execute this function which is on weapon destroyed, right? So it has been called. And just for the debugging purposes, let's equip two items as well, and ideally if I press F, it should print destroyed twice, but actually it is being printed one by one. Yeah, but that's okay. We can figure it out. So anyway, now with inside this function, I'll keep this print statement as well. So instead of printing that destroyed generic statement, I will display its display name. Plus what we have to do is we can actually unequip that weapon, right? We can unequip it from this destroyed actor, and the new weapon should be the very first element of this array, which is the unarmed, right? Okay, now let's try to get this drop it. Now you can see actually the element is being dropped, plus I can't drop it multiple times, and it is being appeared on the ground, which is great. And if I try to scroll my mouse button up or down, it can't be done actually, because that element is not exist on the weapon system as well, right? Which means actually the reference is being properly deleted from inventory system plus the weapon system, right? Which is what we wanted. But okay, actually this is, yes, this is a valid issue that we can see, because actually this instance has been already been deleted. So now actually we are actually sort of calling for a dead reference from here, because it has been already deleted. That's the issue. So what we can do is, instead of doing any sort of this stuff, easily let's switch back to this default slot, which is 0 slot, which is unarmed state actually, right? So let's play test it again. Okay, it is been dropped and nothing exists on the weapon system or inventory system. And if I close, there is no warnings because now we are not dealing with any sort of dead references. Okay, but I need to check actually multiple weapon equips as well. So let's say I pick 2 elements, and now if I press save, actually nothing is on the weapon system, but I think there is an instance at inventory system. That could be an issue. Okay, you can see like the sword has been dropped. If I press F again, actually the rifle is being dropped as well. So it is not dropping all the items at once. It actually drops one by one, but it's destroyed everything at once. Yeah, so let's debug it and see. So here, let's print this as well and see what is being dropped. Okay. Okay, I think we have to print this before destroying. Otherwise, the instance has been already destroyed. Plus, this should be swapped as well. Otherwise, we are removing sort of a dead reference, which is not quite good. Okay, now let's play. Okay, now we can see actually the sword is exist, and if I press F again, that's not quite accurate enough. Right. So I think let's swap these orders for now. Okay. Then let's destroy it. Oh, still showing a null reference. Yeah, I think there is sort of a race condition actually. So this destroying is maybe conflict with this removing as well. So let's destroy it first and then remove it, because it's a dead reference either way. Yeah, now it's removing properly. But if I equip multiple weapons and press drop, actually it's removing from the inventory, but it seems like not properly being removed from the inventory item itself. Okay, actually I found the issue. So issue is actually So we are passing this inventory items list to this for each loop, and within this for each loop, when it's proceeding, we are removing its element, which is not quite good actually, right? Because this reference is already looping while we are removing its inner elements, right? So that's actually what caused the problem. So get rid of it. In order to get rid of it, what we can do is we can simply remove this instance removing from there, and we can simply clear this inventory item list from here. Actually, that's the same thing, right? But it's more accurate, right? Otherwise, the references are still loopy, which is not quite good. Right now, if I equip a single weapon, if I try to drop it, it drops properly, and inventory item is empty. And if I equip multiple weapons and let's try to drop, and everything is dropped, and inventory is empty, plus weapon system is also empty, right? And you can see like actually the event dispatcher called twice as well, right? So the rifle and sword, the destruction called at the same time at here, right? Which means actually the event dispatcher is being called properly, right? Great. So let's remove these two print statements because I don't need those stuff. And inventory system also, it seems good, but actually we can do much more proper way of handling these sort of component procedures. So let's do these optimizations in the next video, but yeah, for now I think this would be fine. Plus actually currently all these items are dropped at this point, at this origin location, so everything is actually overlapping with each other, but just for testing actually I can get some, I don't know, maybe a random location just for testing. Random pointing bounding box. Maybe let's get the owner center. Maybe half size could be 500 by 100. Right, now if I try to drop the elements, you can see actually those are appearing at the random locations. Maybe I can make this 10, so those will be more close to ground. Yep. So you can see actually the items are appearing from random locations from the actor. Again, this is not a perfect solution, but just for demonstrating like how it works, this is it, right? Plus currently it's actually dropping the pickup item base for each element, and the next tutorial, let's see how we can actually spawn the actual pickable item for each and every individual item. Okay, so that's it for now, and I'll see you there. Thank you.